and running. Good morning, gang. Good morning. Again, up on the third floor. We're going to see this perhaps quite a lot, maybe this week, maybe Thursday, maybe Saturday. I'll be leaving for Canada on the 7th of February. Before I go, I have to prepare 2 weeks, 3 weeks of work for all the printers. So I'm way in advance. I have to get lots and lots and lots of sizing done. So that's what we're doing today. Again, I'm sorry. It's the same thing. You've seen this many times before, but it's got to be done. And we will maybe the next couple of streams may also be up here. I don't know. Depends on how well I can get ahead of this. So thanks for your patience while we have some perhaps not so interesting streams for the next couple of weeks. Okay, you know the drill. You know the drill. Again and again, we've seen this. So the first step, I've got to cook up a little bit. It's not cooked yet. We did 2 sizing batches yesterday, one in the early morning and then one again at night. I've been rotating all the paper, and last night's paper is still hanging up. It's not quite dry yet. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start the new batch. We'll move the camera through, and then I'll take down the previous batch and put up this batch. We haven't seen that before, I think. Big thrill. Anyway, first few minutes, I've got to cook up the stuff, so as usual, I'll turn the camera around. The mic is here, so I can't easily speak to you from over there. Give me 4 or 5 minutes to cook it up, and then we'll come back and get started. This isn't for the surfer girl. Sorry, sir. This is for the next Hokusai print. It's the Hokusai print for March. The carving is done. They are now printing. Dei-chan is busy with the printing. She needs more paper. Actually, this is all pre-warmed. I warmed it up a few minutes ago. So they won't take too long. Cables, cables, cables. I warmed up all the water a few minutes ago, so it won't take too long to get to heat here. For those of you who haven't seen this before, the right-hand pot has the glue mixture. We're using 35 grams per liter. There are 2 liters of water altogether here. The left-hand pot, we are going to dissolve the alum mixture in boiling water and then put them together and bring it back here. It'll just take another minute or two. It's the Handycam where the cable plugs into the Handycam. This is consumer products, you know. The cable's just really, really, really weak. Okay, you know the drill. It's got to sit for 5 minutes or so, 4 or 5 minutes. Then we'll bring it in and we'll get going. Paper out, yes, 2 packs are out. There's a package out for Suga-san. She's working on a group of the small Hagaki print we call the Travelers, Don Quixote. You heard me talk about this 2 weeks ago. She's working on Don Quixote 2 weeks ago. But what she did was she put it in the freezer, left it aside, and she did a batch of the Kyoto Journey prints. And now those are finished and gone to Ome for shipping. So she's going to finish up the Don Quixote print. And what's she going to start next? I forget. Yeah, she's starting number 61 in the catalog. She's starting the Sumida River print, the one with all the little fishies. Really, really nice print. Then also today, Ayumi-san is coming. She's doing... What is she doing? You know, I don't remember. There's a pack of paper for her. I pulled it out here. I don't remember what it is. I'm sorry. One of the prints that we're out of stock of. No, I don't remember what is Ayumi-san doing. I've got the paper ready for her. Ayumi-san is doing... Oh, yeah. She's doing a really nice one. The little print we call Spring Fuji, number 51 in the catalog. Very, very, very popular. Someone's got the Hokusai print. Thank you. They're all arriving here and there. Most of them they've all been shipped now. Everybody who's paid for it, they've been shipped. They're caught up with the shipping. And in fact, today is packing for the first Kyoto Journey print, and it will be shipped. The first ones go out on Wednesday, the brand new series starting. Is somebody keeping track of my 5 minutes? I wasn't counting. How are we doing? 2 minutes left? You know, I don't really think we need that straining step. We've talked about this before. I know, because the glue we're using is this stuff. It's really, really high quality. It's very clean. There seems to be no impurities in it. And I don't, you know, we're not catching anything in the strainer when we do this. But when I used to use the old glue, the stuff that's called Sanzenbon, the glue sticks, I don't think I have any here to show you. We don't use them anymore, so I don't have any here. No, the old glue sticks, they're called Sanzenbon. When we used those, we absolutely had to strain it because they're full of junk, little bits of animal skin or something or whatever. But these days, no, it just comes through smoothly. We never catch anything in the strainer. What's this? Birthdays? Not mine, that's for sure. Okay, I think we're good to go. Let's get ready. It's the temperature and the humidity. It's a hygrometer, I've learned. Hygrometer. It's funny too. Did you see where we got this? I think it's colder outside today. You know, sometimes it ends up being colder inside, but today we're okay. I think it's about 0 outside, I think. It's not good for the glue to be in this cold. We're fighting it. It's not a good idea at all. We don't like this. I'm on a hot carpet here. This is hot. This is heated up, which is why the thermometer is showing 12. It's sitting right here just above the hot carpet. The room itself, if I step back, the room is cold here. It's got to be approaching 0. Outside is 0. This is a concrete building. There's no insulation. This desk area is a bit warmer. We have hot glue at 50 degrees centigrade, and we have a little hot carpet here. Minus 27 in Edmonton. Okay. You win. You win. You win. Okay, how many sheets today? We have large paper, 15 sheets cut in half to make 30. So no big dramatic thing today. We're going to do 30 sheets. Top side, back side. It's a very easy job this morning, 30 sheets. And these are going to make, as I said, they're going to make the hook side print. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 prints are going to come from each sheet. Cut the paper in size. It would be pumped to size and then cut. If I had a big enough brush, we would like to do the whole thing. Before cutting this paper, it would go on this board about this big, but I don't have a large enough brush. The max brush we've got here, it's a 2-up, and it doesn't actually work all that well. It's a 2-up with a little bit stuck on the end. We tried to make one that would fit the whole sheet, but it really doesn't work well. So we've given up. We cut our paper in half. It takes twice as long to do it, but it gets done properly. But in the old days, no, of course not. One pass with one big brush. But we just don't have the tools. They just laugh at us. Recently, I haven't asked, but whenever we've gone to the brush maker and said, "Can we get a sizing brush?" They just laugh. They just laugh. Okay, let's get started. So, Someone there was talking about the temperature in Edmonton being, what was it, minus 30 or something. We lived there. We were in Edmonton from 1957 to, I don't know, 1963 or so. We lived in Edmonton there. I don't remember minus 37s, but I guess we used F back in those days. So we would have got like down to 0 or something sometimes. Actually, there's a bit of good news for fans of our print partner Shiba-san, Shiba Ayumi, you know, the lady who makes the prints about ghosts and spiders and stuff like that. She was here on Saturday morning. She has a new design ready. Her carving is all finished, her test printing is ready, and she wants to make a batch of prints. So guess where she did her sizing? It was here Saturday morning. She and I worked together on it. Not much me. I just showed her what to do and she left. Got going on it. I left her downstairs. But 80 sheets of paper were sized here for Ayumi-san's next print. It's not about spiders, not about ghosts. It's another one in her series of prints about ninja culture. And she did the sizing here Saturday morning. She's cool, you know. She is a very competent woman. There's no mansplaining necessary here on Saturday. Just she watched me. She's watched me do it before. I just explained a couple of things she needs to know, what temperature, stuff like this, the facts that she doesn't know. Just pass her the facts, give her a couple of samples, and then stand back out of the way. We've talked before about this. She tried this before here a few years ago. She and I have a very different approach to this. I don't have any big biceps here. I'm not a muscular person. So you may notice what I'm doing when I do this. I lock the brush to my body and I move my whole body across. So I'm using my body weight to help me move this brush. She's a big, tough girl and she does it a different way. She stands in front of the thing, puts the brush down and just moves her arm. So she doesn't move closer. She doesn't move her body. She just moves her arm. Bang, across, go. But Dave doesn't have the power to do that, so I move my body, lock my arm, and move my body across the paper. So it's a whole different approach. She's doing it to me. Here we go. Pin the paper, lock to my body, and across we go. So I'm not using arm muscles at all, nothing. It's just locking and I move across. No, the ninja crouch we were talking about, it's not me. She's the one doing the ninja crouch. Like I said, I move my body. She stands there, she crouches down, grabs her arm and goes, bead. So she's the one with what we would call the ninja crouch, not me. I think. I don't know. I'm trying to minimize the use of muscles as much as possible. So, how's our time? 8:30, not even yet. I think we're ahead of the game today. We'll certainly have no trouble with time for show and tell today. I do have a show and tell. The show and tell carryover from last time. What I've got today, I didn't bring those bird books. I don't have anything specifically new to show you about them until we start taking one of them apart. So I didn't bring the bird books this morning. I've brought just an envelope, some stuff that we got from an auction the other day. So today's show and tell will be a small, little, casual show and tell. Your socks are safe. Oh, Amy-san has an does she have the new print there? Because I haven't seen it yet. Is this the new print? Teaser image, I see, okay. I haven't seen it. She described it. It's another ninja episode. I think she said something. I think there's an image, something to do with somebody being decapitated. Her stuff is really not my style, but whatever. You can't. We're here Saturday. She and I were doing this sizing stuff together. And as I said, I don't do a lot of mansplaining. And with her, you don't need to do this. You just need to show her and she can pick it up. But there's also this feeling in the background. This is one tough young lady, I really like her. She's competent and tough. But what do you do with a lady like that? You're trying to show her what to do, and where all of her pictures are involving death and swords and heads being cut off. Like, keep my distance from this one. Keep my distance. I don't know. Also, something else was funny. She was here on Saturday to do this, and after she finished, she spent the whole morning doing this. She did lots of sheets. I think she did 80 sheets altogether. After she spent the morning doing it, she came down. I was in the shop downstairs, and just when she was talking to us, the ninja people across the street started up with one of their activities, and she has never seen this before. so, so I said, she was like, come with me. And we went outside just as the little kids out there are all doing their thing. You know, you've seen this on the video. The little kids attack this guy, you know. And she's like, what's this got to do with ninja? I'm saying, Shiba-san, you tell me. It's as good as whatever. You know, the little kids are in black outfits and they're running around with swords. And she's like, this is nothing to do with ninja. She's a pretty serious one, she is actually, so. Don't know if anybody's counting. We had 30. I think we're getting there. It must be maybe 5 or 6 left. I think, I'm not sure. Someone's asking, I hope the business is going well. I'm not sure if that's directed at me or if there was another conversation going on here, but our own business at the moment is going very, very well. I'm laughing. We were talking about this again in the shop yesterday afternoon. We just did a good weekend, had a really, really, really busy weekend. January just has not slowed down for us. You know, for our statistics, I think at the end of the year, I told you November and December had been the biggest months we've ever had in our history. January has turned out to be the 3rd biggest month in our history. January, we normally kind of go to sleep. There's not so many tourists. There's not so much going on. Online is quiet after Christmas. The shop is quiet because it's January. This month has been our 3rd biggest month ever. And we're getting to the point now, I'm laughing at you now, just laughing sort of not hysterically, but laughing without any feeling of happiness. The bins now downstairs, so if one of our browser bins might normally contain 100 prints, whatever, now there's 7 prints inside it. The browser bins are just empty downstairs now. Empty. And it's January, end of January. And coming up is March and April and May. And all I can do is laugh. I should be crying, I should be running around in circles. I don't know what to do. I can't do anything. All I can do is just laugh. And we got this little joke now that plays. And I told you the number, the statistics. It's now 1 in 5 people that come in the shop buy something. Most people now come in the shop, look around and leave because there's nothing left to buy. They come and say hello to us. I shouldn't be talking about this on stream. And the joke is now we say, yes, good, good. You want some more prints? Good. Come back 6 months ago. Or something like this. We really, really, really don't know what to do. The number of Doi Hunger prints we sold in January. How many Doi Hunger prints did we sell in January? 0. We don't have any. So what we do have left is this. If you looked at our sales for January, it's ukiyo-e heroes all over the place. We have all the ukiyo-e heroes prints are in stock and good. Our own prints, what we call David's Choice, the prints made from small blocks that I myself carved over the years. We have a ton of those because we've been reprinting. Guest corner, like people from Karen's prints and stuff like that. We have lots of those. Prints from Karen, from Jed, from Fabiola Gill, from Lady Tishimizu. We have lots of those. What we don't have, the big hole in our stock, is we don't have the large Oban Shin Hanga prints, the Hasui prints, the Tsuchiya Koitsu prints. Those are the ones that have been taken and disappeared. So other than that, we do have stuff, but that particular genre, the Shin Hanga prints from the first part of the 20th century, those are the ones we're out of. And they won't be coming back anytime soon. Also, what we have lots of are what we call the Hunger Club prints, you know, our small sort of postcard size prints, the ones also that we make here in-house. So we get lots of those. So if anybody is here thinking about dropping by in the springtime, I'm panicking because we got no prints. We do have stuff. It's an interesting destination to come to. I'll be there, we can chat. But we are missing one major genre, the Shin Hanga prints. What's also happening too, and this is really good fun for me, is the shop, when it's busy, it's whatever, it's busy, you can't do much. But when it quietens down a bit, when there's just like 2 people there, a couple of persons there, somebody browsing, whatever, there's 3, 4, 5 people in the shop, then it's okay. We had yesterday a real fun experience. There was a couple of people there browsing, and we heard them talking to each other, and it sounded Swedish. And actually the lady had an IKEA bag on her. So Sadako, who is working for us on the weekends, she used to live in Sweden. So this is a Japanese lady who speaks Swedish. She lived over there for a few years. So she got near these people, and instead of saying, "May I help you?" she said, like whatever it was, "May I help you?" in Swedish. And the couple just face palm. The last thing they expect is a little Japanese lady talking to them in Swedish. So fine, they start chatting and I jump in. I can't speak Swedish, but they're of course, they handle English, so it's a real mix. Sadako speaks Swedish, they answer her in Swedish, I speak English, they answer me in English. It just goes round and round and round. We had great fun. And it turned out they stayed for about, oh my God, they stayed for about an hour, and we were grilling them. Japan here at the moment, we've got this population decline, and Japan is wrestling with the idea of immigration. And Sweden, I don't know if they've got a population decline happening, but they are very much wrestling with the problem of immigration, what type of people to allow as immigrants and how quickly and how fast and all that kind of stuff. So we were asking them, what's your advice to Japan? What do you think we should do about our immigration problem? And we had a great conversation about this. So we can't sell prints, but we can sure have fun talking to people. And it got better. It turned out the lady in the couple actually was living here in Japan. She's here for a year as a student at one of the universities here, and she's studying economics. So she is well aware of the Japanese situation vis-a-vis economics and population and national debt and all this kind of stuff. we're talking about these different issues and stuff like that, and I forget the exact flow of the conversation, but I said to her, well, we know the Japanese situation. They're not making babies. We as Japanese are not having babies. There's a massive national debt. We listed off these things. The immigration is not happening and is probably not going to be happening. Empty houses all over the country, XXXX. I said, what's your viewpoint then of the Japanese situation? What do you think, looking as an outsider? What do you think of the Japanese situation? And she's fluent in different languages, English, Swedish, whatever. And she was struggling to find a word. And she said something like, I think you are, and she couldn't find a word. And I said, toast? And she said, yes. And really, that was her point. If it was her advice to a young Japanese person, say, young Japanese person, college graduate, maybe a little bit of language knowledge, her advice was simple: get out, just go somewhere else, get out. From her point of view, no future for a well-educated young person in Japan. The burdens of that person's future, difficult to get married, difficult to have kids, heavy burden, welfare. She just said, get out. That was her advice. Okay, we're at the last sheet here. I'm talking too much. I'm not working enough. My God, we had lots of time and now I've burned it up. Okay, halfway done. There's our top half. We now have to flip it over. Every time I come up here, Oyama-san has changed all my stuff. Sa, yoisho. So we did the top side, and now this is the exposed back side that hasn't been sized. We've got a bit of plastic here to try and keep it a bit moist. we now do the same thing again on the back side. And I had better talk a little less and work a little more. Looking good, if I don't say so myself. Boy, it looks like instant conversation. I can't join you, I'm sorry. You know, when she and I yesterday, when we were talking about this population thing, I did add in a couple of extra facts to this. There's something about this whole population issue that is really sort of fascinating to me. They talk about now Japan's population decline. It's 1.1 or 1.2 or whatever it is. The population clearly is declining. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? We all sort of know the Earth's population at the moment is kind of large and growing, and maybe it would be a good idea if there weren't so many people. So on the face of it, if you can manage a population decline, it might not be such a bad idea. Here in Japan, as a specific case, we have an island. It's a bounded area which you can measure easily. At the moment, there's 125 million people here. Us, I'm just speaking of those who live in Japan. I'm not Japanese, but let me just say us, we here. There's 125 million in Japan, and it's now in decline. When you go back, I think we've talked about these before, the numbers that I remember. 1940, when Japan was still a vigorous, strong country, there were 75 million people. At the beginning of Taisho, 1912, there were on the order of 25 to 30 million people here. So 100 million people less than what we've got now, the beginning of Taisho, and Japan was a vigorous, organized nation. There was enough people to support the concept of the culture and the idea of Japan, with only 1/5 of the current population. In other words, you could argue that 1/5 of the current population is enough for this country. There were people all over, there were trains, there was economy, there was national this and that. They even went to war and defeated Russia with 1/5 of the current number of people. So on the face of this, what's the panic about population decline? Surely we can handle it if there are fewer people here. Better for the environment, better for this, better for that. So I was tossing this into yesterday's conversation. And she said, you can do it this way, but you can't do it that way. Her point of view was that the demographics are what's going to kill us. It's not the reduction of numbers that's making us toast that's going to kill us. It's the demographics that kill us. Yeah, it's done. That's done. That's wet. That's wet. It's done. It's done. I'm okay. Thank you. Keep me on it, but yes, that's right. Hang on with me, I want to continue that last idea. Her point was it's the demographics that kill you, and I get that, but just a minute. Can't have a good conversation and talk at the same time. Okay, I get the idea. The demographics are the dangerous part. Not enough young working people to support all the older people at the top. But when you see that demographic pyramid, the young people low and the old people, that's only because you're measuring it by, as I said, those islands. If you take this particular landmass, the demographics for that landmass are strange and unsustainable. But if we look at some different area and then measure the demographics, like the demographics for the planet as a whole, obviously there's billions and billions of young people, more than enough to support all the old people. So the problem becomes a way of redefining the resources, distribution of resources. Just by staying isolated in this island shape, there's not going to be enough production to support the older people. But if you widen the concept of how you measure things or how you look at things or how you distribute resources, then it works. So the problem becomes not a problem of declining population in Japan. The problem becomes how to utilize resources more efficiently across borders. Something like this, right? I'm just blowing smoke here, but trying to do two things at once. So I don't know, I can't really follow this. There's probably lots of discussion and ideas happening here. I can't do this work and think and read the thing at the same time. I'm sorry. The question that I just tossed out, it becomes a question of resource distribution. When I said resources, I didn't mean like minerals and oil and gas. I mean resources in the terms of, people and ideas and capital flow and whatever. When I say resources, I mean very, very wide. And the situation I just put forward, when you draw your border around, this place doesn't have the resources it needs. In the old days, when you were in that kind of situation, this is what wars started with. Country A didn't have resources, country B had them, let's go and take some of that stuff. In the old days, that was how wars started. But is there not any way now that we can look at this situation, defining these zones that we call countries, what resources are missing here, what resources are needed there, and find some way to move the resources around? What am I doing? Which one is next here? Here we go. I can't read this all, I'm sorry, I can't do everything. Central planning. No, 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 no. I hope, no, no, no. Central planning. My God. No, I would never have even remotely suggested something like that. Although that's an interesting. That is an interesting concept, not mine. I'm not going to propose this at all, but the idea of the centrally planned economy, the argument could be made now, not by me, but the argument could be made that last time this was tried, when our Soviet friends tried running a centrally planned economy, we know how that turned out. And the argument could be made that they just didn't have enough data, but that now we have networks and stunningly efficient computers and AI and big data, that now maybe it's possible to do something like a centrally planned economy. The argument could be made. I am not going to make it because I think human nature would get in the way. Now, what I was trying to get at and stumbling towards is when I said it's a question of moving the resources around to the different areas that could use them. The clear example of this then, because of the inverse population pyramid that Japan has, not enough young people, too many old people, area over there has more young people. So the on the face of it, no problem. Bring the young people here, allow immigration. For cultural reasons, Japan is just not going to do that. They would rather die out. Honestly, they meaning the Japanese polity. They would rather die out than dilute. I'm here as an exception. They don't mind one or two here and there. It doesn't matter. So mass immigration, with that word, immigration, is not going to happen. But what if you proposed it to those old geezers in the Japanese government that the young people who were coming into Japan weren't going to be immigrants? What if you had a massive, open, and really well organized program to bring in, how can I get this? You need the labor of those young people for X period of time. There are millions, literally millions of young people all around the world who would love to have a Japan experience. We would also like to feel that some of those countries they're coming from are not so well organized, and those places could benefit from learning about Japanese organizational abilities. Is there not any way to put those things together into a package deal that allows energetic young people to come here, work, study, earn tons of money, provide the labor that we need, and go back after a certain period of time with a huge benefit package? Is there not any way to organize that? And why not? And John's saying this, just imagine how well they would be treated. I mean, it's happening now. There's at my pool where I go to, it's Vietnamese boys who are doing the cleaning of the toilets. This is not what I'm talking about. This is happening now, and it's being abused top to bottom. These people are paying high fees to get their passports and blah, 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 blah. But what I'm trying to stumble towards is, why don't we make this a real thing? A massive nationwide program, well organized, well funded, open and safe. And people knew they were coming for just a few years, and they were going to go home with tons of benefits, and they would provide benefits to us while they were here. Is it not possible, or am I just making noise here? Where am I? Or is there just too much bad baggage with the idea of guest workers that it can't be made practical? I don't know. This is going well today. We have a nice deck of paper. Despite all the noise, this is actually going well today. How's our time? Not all crap. I see it's 9 o'clock on a Monday, so there must be a young lady downstairs any minute now. We should hear some noise. Maybe she'll come up the stairs and say hello. Let's see. Oh, I got no mask. We're gonna die. I heard something. I thought she was there. Anybody home? Somebody opened the stairway, the doors, and nobody here. I know what she was doing. She wasn't opening the door to come upstairs. She was closing the door because I left it open. So she must have turned on her heater and all the cold air from upstairs. no sign of her. I guess she just simply head to her computer and get to work. You know, it's Monday morning, so she has all the weekend backup. And because this is January, the online shop these days is fairly quiet. There's steady orders coming in, but nothing like, of course, in November and December. But what's also different is there's lots and lots of new subscriptions still coming in. I noticed even yesterday when we were down in the shop, and there were 9 or 10 new subscriptions in during the day. So that's going to be Ayano-san's thrust today. She'll be organizing the new subscribers and getting, catching up on the weekend's overload. So. Someone's asking about the Great Wave. I'm still a few years away. When the time comes, are we given a time frame in which to purchase the print before it moves on to the next person? What she does is she sends out, when we've got 50 prints, she'll send out 50 emails to the people. Bum, 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 bum. A bunch of maybe 10, 12 people buy it right away. Some people don't get the email. She resends it in case they didn't get it. It went into spam. And after the 50 emails have gone, after 3 or 4 days, there's maybe 12, 14, 15, 20 prints have sold. She waits a little while, then we have 30 prints left, so she sends 30 more emails. So we don't have a specific plan. People will buy it or they don't. Of course, we don't force or push or anything. We just simply notify them, your number has come up. If you want the print, click this link and go and purchase it. We don't push at all if people don't reply. Your answer here, is there a time frame, like maybe you can't afford it right at that moment, but you want it a month later or so? If that's the case, then just write back to her. Just write to her and tell her your situation. You want it, but you can't do it right now. You want to wait for a month. Of course, she'll help you. Of course. But if you don't reply, that's it. You're gone. You'll never hear from us again. I think we're there. Yes, the last sheet. Okay, brushing part is done. Put the brush into hot water. We've got 2 compartments here. The glue is in the left, which we've been using, and I've now put the brush. It can soak now in just hot water for a few minutes. I can't leave it in the hot water there for more than a half hour, so it absorbs water and it curls up and it distorts. So I've got to come back and rub it out. But right now we have to hang up some paper. Okay, you know the drill. We're going to come apart step by step. You guys, mods, please, you can explain what's going on. Let me start moving the systems. Audio is going to go down and it'll come back up in the next room. Audio is now plugged in. Audio should be back. Somebody's yelling at me, no audio. I know, I unplugged the audio. It is now plugged back in. Yes, just 1 second. Camera's coming back up one at a time. One moment, please. I told you, no panicking. Main camera coming back in. Okay. Now, this is paper from yesterday, which has to come down first. Chat settings, chat appearance, text size maximum, height. So this is the part you normally don't see. This is what happens after the paper is dried. This is last night's paper. Time to get it down. I wish I could do, I can't do it, but I wish I could do the David Attenborough voice, you know. The very rare scene of Japanese washi paper being harvested from the trees. The job only takes place in the depths of the Japanese cold winter. The harvesting process rarely seen by outsiders. This batch of paper is going to be Crows and Moon, number 45 in the catalog, and it's going to become Winter Landscape, number 12 in the catalog. Let's get it out of the way. Next group, up. 30 sheets, so 15 pairs. So 30 sheets, 15 pairs, back to back. It's nice. It's come out very well. I think I'm saying this all the time recently, but it's true. It really is coming out pretty well for winter. You know, you can see, I guess, the translucency. I hope you can see my hand through there. Beautifully, smoothly moist paper. Very dangerous, very delicate, totally wet. Very easy to get creased. Says he creasing it. Yes, the humidifier is sitting beside me. It's turned off at the moment. It was running all night. The previous batch of paper that you saw me take down had the humidifier running all night. I turned it off in the morning. Once I hang this batch up, turn the camera off and say goodbye to you guys, I will then get the humidifier ready, load it up with water, and turn it on again. And it will run all day, and we're going to keep both doors closed. Anybody coming in and out of this room today has to close the doors behind them. Somebody's asking, why do we hang them in pairs? We want this paper to dry as slowly as possible. If we hang them up one by one, they dry from both sides. They dry quite quickly. They become too brittle and hard. The sizing becomes too hard. So they've got to dry quite slowly. The ideal for us would be over the course of, say, 8 to 10 hours most of the day. And putting them in pairs and then putting them quite close together up there on the rack helps them dry slowly. I don't understand the science. I don't know why that happens, but just simply we've learned if they dry quickly, the paper becomes too brittle. In summer we don't have the problem because it's very humid. They naturally dry, take time to dry slowly. But in winter, when it's so dry here, they just dry instantly. As to the science and why, I have no idea. I'm just doing what we've learned. Someone's asking, does the grain of the paper matter? And that's an interesting point. At the time we are hanging this now, this water is not moving. There's no water dripping from these things. The moisture that's in here pretty much is going to stay where it is. We don't find that the bottom of the sheets get any more damp than the top of the sheets. There's not so much liquid in these sheets that it is still running around. It's pretty much stable now. In the early days when I was doing this, I used too much glue, too much water. I would hang up the sheets and they would drip, 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 drip onto the floor. So they must have been drier at the top and wetter at the bottom. We're not seeing that now at this level of moisture that I use here. Someone says, is this a hobby or a job? Dear sir, this is a factory. There are 30 people working here, making a living here. Just about 30 people now. This is not a hobby. This is actually a big little business. This process of sizing the paper, we make thousands upon thousands of woodblock prints every year. This is very much a job for a whole bunch of people here. They don't all do this part of the work. I'm doing this now in support of our printers. But yeah, it's a home, I know, what's the word? It's a, I said we're a factory, but it looks like a home industry, of course, you know, interesting. Of us. I can't believe it, actually, you know. Okay, almost clear. How's our time? I got about three packs left here. Do we have time for... Oh, it's 9:30 already. No, okay. I guess I spent too much time blabbing. Sorry. Someone's asking, are we going to sell paper that we've sized? At the moment, there are zero plans for that for two reasons. Our own supply of paper is not stable. The people we get it from, there's only one family left making it. They make enough, you know, for our orders. There is not a whole lot extra. We don't have enough guaranteed supply to be able to start selling this stuff. We are actually banking it now. We're ordering a bit more than we can use. You know, we're basically ordering all they can make. It's more than we can use. We are banking it. It will survive for many, many years. So we're not, in the near future, in the understandable future, we're not going to be in any position to sell this paper, I'm sorry. Neither sized nor unsized. I appreciate there's a market for it. I appreciate there's a need. We can't handle it. Well, when I say a bank, what I mean is simply it's stacking up all over the place around here. Okay, I'll close it off in a second after I finish the stream, just so you know what's going on. I've mentioned it. The humidifier sits here. It's inside the plastic cage, which I will close up in a minute. And I'll start it up. Okay, it's 9:30. Obviously no time for a show and tell today. Am I on camera? Yeah, I'm on camera. Okay, thanks very much, guys. I don't know, what's today? Today is Monday. There's no stream now for 3 more days. I'll be back here Thursday stream, Saturday, and then Monday. There's 3 more streams before I head off for what will be a 2-week break over in Canada with my family. And these next few streams may be kind of a clone of this, because I have to do sizing in advance for all those few weeks of work for our printers. We'll see how it goes. In any case, I'll be back here again Thursday. Thanks very much. I'm sorry that there's no show and tell. We've got it, but I have got to get downstairs and I've got to get to work with our staff. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. And I'm very interested to read the chat today to see about the question of the resource issues and the population and stuff like that. I'm interested to read your comments. Thank you very much. Oi, 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 I can't reach the buttons. Okay, bye for now. Thank you.